Good, good, good. All right, everybody. So welcome, welcome. So tell me who has never been here before. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Okay, very good. This month our theme is this idea of this rhythm, and so we have 2 themes, but we're going to stick with this rhythm and this internal rhythm for right now. So we just came off of, well, kind of like we're just coming off of the full moon. And so that can be really crazy energy for a lot of people. And it's, I just think of the fact that we're more water than anything else. So just look at it from a scientific perspective. It's really, really simple. We're more water than anything else. We're actually really, really soft and squishy. And so when the ocean, if you look at the ocean at the full moon, you'll notice that the tide is really, really high, right? So, and that's what's happening. There's like a swelling effect that happens. And that's what happens with us too. And so, and that can just mess with all kinds of things. It can mess with our brains. It can make us not think clearly. We are emotional. Women tend to be on their cycles a lot during this time. So unless their hormones are all screwed up, but I mean, so that's why they even call it mooning. Like that's a term for it. So we just go crazy. That's why they make movies about werewolves. They just like, it like all of these things, it's like all the same. And so these things are, they have all of those types of lore surrounding that because of the fact that the full moon affects people. So when I see the room really, really full around this time, I always think, oh yeah, everybody needs this. Like we're all like, oh, I just need something right now. So it's, it can be this time of like listening to the body, honoring the body, having respect for what's coming up for you and how you feel, and allowing that to be okay. Okay, giving ourselves grace. Kind of, Chris and I, we were talking about when you know that the dog's teeth are snarling, you don't just keep trying to pet the dog, right? Like they're snarling at you. Stop trying so hard to pet the dog. So if you are around people and they've been snarling, just like, okay, peace out, and just walk away and let it go, okay? Because it's just this time. And so now we're coming down off of it. And then there's this idea, going back again to what I was saying before, we're trying to follow this rhythm within inside of our bodies. This whole month is this idea of the rhythm. Last week, we talked a lot about not fighting our thoughts. We didn't get into a battle with our thoughts. Instead, what we did is we decided to focus on trying to allow whatever came up to come up, and then feel what that brought up inside of you instead. Okay, so it was a little bit different. So that was an internal thing. So today we're going to go external. So before we do that, does everybody have their cell phones off? Because we don't close the door for the studio, because we have a heated class prior to this and it takes time for the room to cool off. So in order for us not to be all miserable and sweaty, we make sure that, we leave the door open so we have plenty of airflow. So this is a real common way to meditate, but it's a really nice, soothing way to meditate too, is just focusing on something outside of us. So if we're quiet, we can hear things, right? We can hear the fans, we can hear the air conditioning, okay? So we can hear things outside of us. Sometimes it's fun to try to find the farthest away sound that you can find and then anchor to it. So we're going to be playing with that tonight. And then it's going to be the same thing. These vibrations of what you're focusing on, they have a rhythm to them. They have a vibration to them. So just allow the vibration of whatever that is to kind of resonate over you. And I'll walk you through it, okay? So of the 3 people that are new, is anybody a first-time meditator? No? Everybody's got a little meditation practice? Sweet. So this will be easy peasy. Okie dokie. So Rob, are you comfortable?
I'm just going to lay back.
Okay, all right, okay. And that is an invitation. So when we're not so rigid here. We're not so rigid and dogmatic here that we can't lie down. But with that, I want you to understand that there's something very different between a nap and a meditation, right? And it can be difficult sometimes to battle yourself. So it feels better often if you have your feet on your floor, your knees to the ceiling, and your hands on your belly. It tends to prevent you from falling asleep, okay? Um, so I invite you to lie down if you're not somebody who's comfortable in your skin. Not everybody's comfortable in their skin. And I want less battle going on than being peaceful, okay? So if you are going to lie down, don't use the bolster as a pillow. You will be sad because then your neck will be like this and you won't feel very good. But you can put it underneath your knees or whatnot. Quint, would you shut the back lights off and just turn the front ones down just barely? What's that? Oh, it's too dark. Up higher. Yeah. It's horrible to sit like this. It can be. It can. Yeah. And so meditation posture is something that you do want to work on. So I'm glad that Chris brought that up because sitting cross-legged isn't always comfortable, but that's why people do yoga. I mean, that's why we have all these practices here, because the whole premise behind where yoga came from in the first place was in order to be able to do this longer, okay? Because this position, sitting, tailbone tucked under barely, the spine straight and long so that our central channel can move, this prana can move up and down freely, and sitting either with our hands, cupped or in chin mudra, there's a purpose behind this. And the purpose behind it is so that the energy can flow up and down the spine. You can breathe clearer. Your lungs expand easier. The mind the brain gets more oxygen into it. So then you can start to go into these deeper and deeper and deeper states. But this is very uncomfortable if you don't have a practice, if you don't know how to move your body properly. So that's a plug for everybody to come and do yoga. There you go. Okay. All right. And because it is a practice. All right. Sitting up nice and tall, letting your eyes close. Loosen up your jaw a little bit. Give it some space. Maybe feel if there's some extra wiggles in your body. Maybe wiggle a little bit from side to side, back and forth. Feel if there's a center of gravity point that grabs you so that you can feel this elongation from the tip of your tailbone all the way up to the crown of your head. You can tuck your chin slightly so that you are, I had heard once, proud chest but humble chin, and I like that idea. The eyes are closed soft, they're not pressed shut. It's okay even if there's a little bit of light coming in. Again, checking in with your jaw, being sure that it's nice and loose. You can even wiggle it from side to side. Check in with your tongue. Make sure that your tongue isn't pressed to the front or pressed up to the top or smashed down in the back. It's just nice and loose and relaxed in your mouth. We've already talked about the hands, but it bears repeating. You're welcome to do chin mudra with your hands, which is your index finger and thumb barely touching and the backs of your hands on your knees. You can have your palms face down if you choose to. You can have your palms resting in your lap with one hand under the other, whatever feels right to you. So let's all go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. Inhale deeply. And let that go. So that's nice. We're going to do that again. Inhale deeply. And let that go. Notice how that's an outside sound and what that does for your internal central nervous system. So we're going to do that one more time. Inhale deep. Hold it at the top this time. And then let it go. As you're holding this space, just allow yourself to feel the temperature of the room on your skin. Tonight is also a night to abstain from the inner battle of the chatter in the mind. It's okay. It's okay. So whatever comes up, comes up. It's just taking a minute to go back to the feeling of the temperature of the room on your skin. Maybe noticing if you can feel the fan blowing on you. Notice your own temperature in conjunction with the temperature of the room. So now there's so many sounds wherever you are. Even if you're at home watching this, there's sounds. We are in a studio where there's cars on the road. There's the occasional person walking by, talking, but there's also consistent sounds. Allowing yourself to drift over to one of these consistent sounds. And everybody may have a different one. Allowing yourself to almost become part of the sound. Sometimes it's even possible to go into the sound. Almost as if there's no separation between you and the sound. There can be a part of you that feels like you're hanging on to it. But there can be another part of you that feels like you are in it or you are it. As you start to allow yourself to anchor deeper and deeper into that outside sound, and you merge with it more and more, there will be other competing factors for that, and you'll notice that they'll just start to fade away. Allow your breathing to resonate with the sound. So that your breath and the sound can kind of merge together. Holding the sound while you're being with your breath. I'd like you to feel where you feel that sound the most in your body. It could be in your head, it could be throughout the body, it could be somewhere else. But allow yourself to be very aware of where you're feeling that. And just take a moment to notice if you notice anything else about your physiology pairing up with that sound and your breath. So in these last few moments, I'd invite you to really plug into whatever energy you feel in this room right now. With the other humans in this room. And notice what that feels like with your physiology as well. Start to be a little bit more dialed into your breathing again. And now everybody can go ahead and take another nice deep inhale in. And just let it go. Start to bring a little bit more organic movement into your body. And as always, let your eyes be the last thing to come back online. Okay. So last week we worked on a lot of stuff on the inside, and then this week we worked on stuff on the outside. So, Angelina, you were here last week, honey. Give me a comparison.
I feel like I always do better when we're focusing on something outside.
Uh-huh.
I think that's me personally.
Yeah.
I think it's easier for me to not get, I don't know, it's harder for me to try and listen in.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because I operate out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I always like trying to find a sound to listen to.
Okay.
So that one was a little bit easier today. I focused on like the traffic.
Oh, good.
And that one, I think, I grew up in like, when I was little, we lived in an apartment right on a busy street corner.
Yeah.
And so the traffic is actually like very calming to me.
Oh, yeah.
I used to fall asleep to it.
Okay.
So it's like white
Yeah.
It was actually really fun to listen to that, and then
Nice.
connect it to the breathing. I think that actually helped me get a little bit more like inside my body.
Oh, good.
Like, because I think whenever I try to connect my heart, I have a hard time like hearing my heart beating, and so I get flustered by that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but this one feels better.
Good.
Like it was-
Good. 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 Who else was here last week? I know there was you were here last week. We were here. So tell me this as opposed to last week.
This for me was a lot calmer of energy.
Okay.
And maybe because like I'm inside of me, I feel like it's like constantly in like fight or flight or something. So if
Yeah.
I'm not focusing on that, it's just like way calmer out here than it is when I focus on the inside. So
Okay.
I feel like half asleep right now.
Okay. Super chill.
Yeah, like everyone like just when we were all sat like breathing out, I'm like, oh, okay, like that
Yeah.
felt good. Like I felt like we were all breathing together.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Misty, you were here last week, weren't you? No.
I
Who-
usually am, but not
Yeah.
thank
You
you.
was
But
one.
I've
You.
done so many of your meditations.
I know.
I love your meditation.
Thanks, sweetie pie. I love you
do
being
better
here.
with internal stuff for me. I'm
Yeah.
much more inside and can hear my heartbeat. And,
Yeah.
But I love the fact that you love the traffic because I like the washing machine or the dryer. The sound of
Oh.
the dryer is like that for me. My mom used to do laundry late at night, and so I slept by the dryer, and I could always. So when it's
Oh.
going, it's like.
Isn't that cool? That's
calming
cool.
Home feeling.
Yeah. That's cool.
It was cool when you were saying find something.
Yeah.
I noticed I guess it was the fan, right? Seemed to be the real. Like when you're outside in nature and you're listening to the wind, and you can actually hear the wind saying something. It was very interesting how unnatural the sound or what it was trying to say was doing. I could feel the unnaturalness, and I felt this long desire to be just. And then I felt like these socks don't feel very natural.
Yeah.
Like my belt felt on that, and like I was like feeling like.
We flip the lights on. Chris is in a loincloth.
This guy disappeared.
He translated. He's like.
But like I know it was really cool because I noticed like how unnatural everything really is.
Yeah.
And when you hear the wind, it's like there's such a soothe. That was it was comforting, but there was no message in it to go. And I just started like feeling like I just wanted to be like connecting to natural things.
Yes. Yes. Anybody else?
I kind of relate with what he's saying.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes me a little bit more uncomfortable, like
Okay.
being more external and
Okay.
hearing like these kinds of
Yeah.
noises.
Yeah.
I wasn't here for last week. I missed it.
I
but
know.
I feel like it probably would have been easier for me doing more internal.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is safe space for me. Whereas the outside, it's like, okay, there's all this like unknown. type of
Okay.
stuff, so-
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because and you are somebody who's a little bit more of an introvert. So because you have that, that's a safer place. Yeah. And then you are a little bit more of an extrovert, and so are you. Do you know what I mean? And so then it's like there's that, and so that's really cool because that's why we're not all one size fits all. You know what I mean? That's what the beauty of that. That's what I love, is that everybody has a different thing. Sometimes it's good to overcome the thing that we're comfortable with, if that makes sense. And so I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, but I'm left-handed. And so I do things sometimes to kind of like get my brain to work the opposite. So I've been brushing my teeth with my right hand. And I got rid of my electric toothbrush so that I could like really focus on what that's like to brush my teeth with my right hand. And it's uncomfortable. And it forces me to do things that are not easy for me, so then I can be good at it. Do you know what I mean? And so it's good sometimes to push yourself a little bit in those. There's the guided meditation is the best, right? This is why Yoga Nidra is so cool. Because Yoga Nidra is so cool because like you just got somebody taking you on a little journey, you know what I mean? Or just like kind of like carrying you in a little basket into Never Never Land, and it's fantastic, and then bringing you back to earth again, and then pop you back up again, and it's like wonderful. And but meditation that's guided is like that too. There's somebody that's like taking you, hand holding you through a journey, and then kind of like bringing you back into this present space. And then when we start to do these quiet meditations, they require a different type of thing, okay? And so because you don't have somebody narrating a story to you in order to keep you entertained. Those are the words that I will use without trivializing it too much, because guided meditation is still very, very good, obviously. I mean, this is what we do here, right? But there is an entertainment to it. Would we agree on that, right? And so then when we are doing silent meditations, that's why it's like there's these battles that come up inside of us. Some of us don't want to go in here because this can be a very ugly, scary place, okay? And then some of us it's easier to stay out here because of that. Some people don't want to go out here because this is a scary place, okay? And so then we want to stay like inside the confines of our physiology, right? And so the goal with anything, it's just a workout program, right? So you start doing like sets of things and you increase your weight on it and you make it so that you get stronger. And so we start off with guided meditations, and we start out with like a little quieter. Sometimes we do the things outside because it's easier to grab onto. Sometimes we do the things that are inside because it's easier to grab onto. We start to find the things that are a little bit more difficult so that we can start to work towards those things so we can get stronger and better at that. And why do we do all of this? We do all of this so that when our life goes sideways, which happens on a regular basis, we're able to kind of manage that a little bit better, right? We're disciplining it. You know. Yes, Kathy.
How about the introduction of a mantra?
Yeah, for sure. And I love those, obviously. Like when we do, mantra in our chantings, those are wonderful. They're the best, and that's the best. I mean, even if you just do Om, with a rotation for a little while, or if you do Om Mani Padme Hum or something like that, I mean, you're just like, like, you just sit there, you know what I mean? And it's fantastic. So those are wonderful and a great way to get you to where you need to be. So, okay, does anybody have any questions? Okie dokie. Let me give you 2 announcements. The first one is we have our intuitive art class this Saturday. It starts at 12:30, Quentin?
Yes.
Okay. I believe it starts at 12:30. So the class is $45. Maria does such an incredible job with that. What's that?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Sorry about that. 1 p.m. 1 p.m. 1 p.m.
That's
So
okay. Show up at 12:30. You can help us set up.
that's right.
Different mediums, Melissa, or is it?
Yeah, so this time she's working with watercolors, and it's cool because Chris and I just did some painting with watercolors, and it's so fun, because it dries fast, and then there's like so much fluidity with watercolor. You can change and morph your painting so many times. It's so cool. And so I was reading the description again because she tries to do something different every time. And so with this, she's going to have us do some movement in the beginning, and she's doing this like whole guided movement meditative thing. And then we're going to take that movement, we're going to transfer it into our canvases and then start to do this painting with her guiding us through it more. And so I'm really excited about it. Every time I leave her class, I'm just like, I feel so good. I just feel so good. So really try to come to that if you can. Again, it's $45, but all the supplies and everything are all provided for you. You get to go home with a cool picture, and it's just a really, really great experience. So that's this weekend. Then next week we have Middle Road. That's next Thursday. So there's meditation on Tuesday, and then on Thursday there's Middle Road. So really try to come to that if you can as well. And that is the class where we have more meaningful conversations. So it's really good. Yes, honey.
Thursday or next Thursday?
Next Thursday. This Thursday we have nothing. Yeah, so we do it every other week. So yeah, so last week was Sobriety Circle. This week is nothing. Then next week is so it's the second and the fourth Thursdays is when we have things. if that makes sense. So yeah, so middle road. If anybody has any questions on that, please let me know. Last but not least, we still have, I think, one spot available for anybody who wants to be a Reiki practitioner. If that's something that you're interested in, let me know, ask questions. I'm happy to fill you in. Okay. All right, everybody, have a great week.